Hello, Fisher students. Today we're going to talk about using Alexandria to find some books that you might enjoy if you are a Harry Potter fan, and really, who is not a Harry Potter fan? So I am here at the Alexandria catalog. You know you can get here from our library main webpage, and we're going to start by searching the catalog. And as you recall, the Smart Search feature in Alexandria allows you to really search by any keyword. You can type in anything that interests you here, but I'm going to show you a secret advanced search option. Instead of typing what I'd like to search for in this field, I'm going to click on this ampersand, the and sign, which is going to bring up some options that will allow me to combine my search terms. So I can do this in a lot of different ways. If I click on this drop-down menu, you can see I can search by author, title, call number. I can combine a lot of different things. But for this search, I just want to combine some terms that Harry Potter makes me think of. So the most obvious term is, of course, wizards. Harry Potter attends a school for witchcraft and wizardry. The big reveal in the first book is, you're a wizard, Harry. And of course, another important feature of all of this is the magical world that Harry lives in. So I'm hoping to find a book that will inspire me in the same way that the whole world of Harry Potter inspired me. So I'm going to start with a few search terms here, wizards and magic. I'm going to see what comes up. So my first few books are Wizard of Oz books, which are a pretty good match considering that is a magical world that also involves a wizard. But I kind of want something that maybe I'm not as familiar with. So this book here, The Wizard Heir, that sounds kind of interesting, but I noticed that it is the second in a series. I'm going to click on this triangle and see if I can find out more about it. So The Heir Chronicles, let's see, we've got some untrained magical powers. We've got interesting stuff here. How can I find the first one in this series? Well, you might notice that a number of different objects in this record have a little tag next to them. This tag is going to allow you to search by those features. So if I click on that tag, it sails up here, and it saves it in this drop-down menu. So right now I only have one. If I clicked on additional tags, I would have more. So I'm going to click on Heir Chronicles series so that I can see just that series. Here we go. Now book one is The Warrior Heir. Let's look at those details. After learning about his magical ancestry and his own warrior powers, 16-year-old Jack embarks on a training program to fight enemy wizards. Well, that sounds kind of right up my alley. And in fact, this is a book that the Fisher Library has physically here. If I click on copies, we can see how many are available. So I have 2 ready for checkout if you so choose. So if that sounds interesting to you to start on a series that you might not have been familiar with yet, click on the hold, log in with your student ID number and your last name to place this book on hold for pickup. The second book I want to tell you about is a book called The Blackthorn Key. And because I already know the title, I'm going to use Alexandria to look it up by title, so we can look at the record and what it can tell us. This is another first book in a series. And the reason I love this and why I think it would appeal to Harry Potter fans is not because the main character has magic. In fact, Christopher Rowe is pretty unmagical, but because he is a puzzle solver in the same way that one of the best parts of many of the early Harry Potter books in particular are the ways that Harry has to solve puzzles and solve clues in order to get closer to He Who Must Not Be Named and the truth about Harry's own life. It also takes place in sort of Renaissance era London, which is different than Harry Potter, which is, of course, much more modern day. But the London setting is something that really connects to me as well. So if you are a person that enjoys puzzle solving and following clues, this mystery series would be something that you might enjoy. You'll note in this record that the genre is listed underneath the first tag here. And if you were to choose to search by the mystery genre, a feature that you could use is this genre sort up here. And finally, students, this book leads me to the final book I'd like to talk about for you Harry Potter fans out there. And you may have noticed that my background changed. My computer died, but I found a plug in a new location and we're back in business. So Blackthorn Key, in looking at our record here, one of the subject headings here you'll notice is apprentices. And if I chose to add that as a tag, it would help me search by that subject. But I'd like to actually use apprentice as a keyword instead, because I would like things that where apprentice appears in the title, or I want to do a broader search than just subject. So rather than using the tag in this instance, I'm going to search for apprentice. I'm going to get a bunch of books back here. And the one I am looking for is the first in a series called Ranger's Apprentice. So here, in fact, is one of the collection here. So if I click on this and use the series tag now, it will bring up, hopefully, all of the Ranger's Apprentice books, and we can find book 1. The reason why Ranger's Apprentice is one that I'd like to recommend for fans of Harry Potter is not because there is a ton of magic in it, although there is, but more because the main character in this book, Will, is a reluctant heir to a great destiny, in similar ways to how Harry kind of finds out that he is something special in a direction that he never expected. So here is book 1 in the original series. There are a lot of spin-off series to this as well. It's called The Runes of Gorlan. And let's look at some of the details. Will is the main character, or one of the main characters here, and his expectation is that he is going to train to be a knight, to be a warrior, and has been planning with his friends to qualify for battle school and is sadly rejected. Instead, he ends up as an apprentice to Halt, who is a ranger. The rangers are kind of like the special forces. They are strategists. They are spies. They're really the brains behind the defense of the entire kingdom. So, but being a ranger is not really a position that comes with a lot of glory. Some people are afraid of rangers because their skills seem almost magical or otherworldly. The knights are the ones that are admired, and that is the position that is sought after, but really the rangers are what keeps the kingdom safe. So this book is the first in one of my favorite series and one of my favorite families of series. They are great adventures. There's a lot of interesting tactical warfare and spying. So if you like really intricate battle scenes and strategy, these books are great. But there's also a ton of humor. There's a lot of funniness in the relationship between Will and Halt, and Will and some of the other rangers, and the growth that happens in all of these. And the kingdom is really well described too. You really feel like it's a place that you could live. You know about the neighboring kingdoms, the ones that are allies and the ones that are enemies, and a lot of those featured in later books as well. So The Runes of Gorlan is the first in what I think is an amazing series that I encourage you to look into. If this is a book that you like, you know the drill by now. Click the little hand, log into your account, request it, and come pick it up from us on either a Wednesday afternoon or a Friday morning. So I hope you heard something that you would like today, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.